get higher than the motherfucker. Let's say it again. Somebody roll the weed. It's my song. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than a motherfucker. Hit it again. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than a motherfucker. Can you tell me what you wanna get? I wanna get high.
What's going on, YouTube and the rest of the world? You've reached your weekly dose of cannabis 420 news across the globe. I'm Zach with Good Karma Group. Alongside with me will be my partners today. I'll give their introduction here in a minute, but if this is your first time watching, make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button, and as well as that notifications, because you guys need to get updated whenever we're going live. Join us on our 420 hours or any other time we're going live. So with that being said, we'll get right into it. Hope you guys are having a great Friday or whenever this is catching you. So with my first guest, you guys all know and love him. He's an expert in alien technology, the Lakers, the Seahawks, shoes, Ford, Raptors, cannabis, you name it. This guy is an expert in a lot of different fields that are extremely interesting. We love picking his brain, seeing what he has to say about, I guess, this list of cannabis stuff that we're going to talk about today. And then hopefully we can get into some alien news, maybe some Sasquatch updates as well, too. So without further ado, I'll bring on my good partner, Mr. Steve. What's going on, man?
What's going down, man? It's Friday.
Hey, it's Friday. You got you something to smoke on?
Sure do, bro.
Right on.
Earlier.
Yeah, man, that shirt's clean, bro. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.
Our next host, we're gonna bring him on. You guys know him as well. He's been on a couple shows over the last, I guess, couple episodes, I guess we could say. We've grown to love his outtakes and his perspectives as well. This is a guy that low-key has probably sold millions and millions of dollars within the cannabis industry, an expert in his field. He's also a shoe expert, a weapons guy. He loves talking guns. He loves talking sports, a former pitcher as well. I still think that he has his high heat. I'm willing to make a bet on that as well. Not too sure about his alien expertise, but maybe we'll get to that if we got some time as well too. So without further ado, I'll bring on my good brother, MD Matt. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, Zach. Thanks for the intro and thanks for having me.
Fuck yeah,
I look
man.
forward
Hell
to
yeah.
offering my extraterrestrial insights.
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, hopefully you guys are having a good week, got a good Friday under your belt so far. We'll get into it here in a sec, but anybody got anything before we start? You guys got any shout outs you want to give out or any birthdays, anniversaries, anything like that? Well, good.
I ain't got nothing.
Cool.
Right now.
Good.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think so.
Right on. Well, we'll get right on into it, fellas. So sources for this one is everybody in God's green earth right now. They're all reporting this. If you guys haven't heard, this is breaking news just kicked out today. Now, this is, I got my source from New York Times as well as CNN for this one. But Germany, the lawmakers have legalized cannabis use for their citizens or visitors that are 18 and up. So this was through the lower house of parliament that it was voted on. So there was a total of about 630 something votes. Out of that, 407 votes were yes, 226 votes were no. So that makes Germany the third Europe country to legalize cannabis. Malta is the other one, and then Luxembourg is the other one right now that currently is legalizing it. Under this new law, Adults can cultivate 3 plants for private consumption, and they can possess up to 50 grams at once at home. If they're at home, they can possess 50 grams at home, 25 grams in public. And this is all starting April 1st. July 1st, they're going to have another law that's going to take into effect, which is going to allow up to, or cannabis clubs that are nonprofit, and they're going to allow them to be able to have up to 500 members apiece. Those members are the only people that will be able to consume cannabis on the grounds. You can't have a visitor. You can't sell anything. It won't be a dispensary style. You just have a cannabis club. So they'll have more stipulations on that, I'm sure, later on. But the other thing they put in there about it is that you can't consume cannabis in or near schools or playgrounds as well. It is completely decriminalized other than that. So, Steve, man, what's your thoughts on that initially, bro?
I like that, man. Germany's got a really good economy. The more countries in the EU that normalize and legalize, removes the stigma that much more, and that's awesome, man. I love to see cannabis go global, legal cannabis, and looking forward to seeing if we can find some opportunities over there for the Good Karma Group. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
absolutely.
With Germany, I think that there's going to be a lot of stipulations with the 25 gram stuff and being in public. They didn't really separate if that was going to be an oil or flower or edible, or if there was going to be some breakdowns on that. So I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to transpire with the rest of the breakdown on it once it hits. And then that cannabis lounge stuff is pretty wild too. Matt, what's your thoughts on this, bro? Anything you got to say about this?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, anytime we can spread cannabis legalization into other countries and other places, it shows how far America is kind of lagging, honestly, because if other countries like Germany, who never really even had like a medical program, to my knowledge, are just legalizing it for recreational use for everyone across the country. I mean, we need to start taking some notes and following suit.
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely.
Well, we'll move on to Virginia. This just kicked out. Source of WRIC.com.
I have one question about Germany real quick. Sorry to backtrack.
Oh, yeah.
What was the age group? What was the age group again that you said? Like, what was the age limit?
18 and up.
So, and they're at 18 and up too. So I knew it was a different age. Like, that's, yeah. I mean, again, it just shows how archaic some of our values and laws are in America. And we just kind of need to, out with the old, in with the new. We need to bring in politicians that see this kind of stuff and actually care about the country and want to, do what the people want. Because I guarantee more than 50% of America wants full legalization.
100%, bro. 100%.
So, sorry about that, Virginia.
No, you're good. That was a great point, man. That was something we probably definitely can't slip by. So Virginia Democrats, I guess they run the House. They've reached they call it a legislative compromise, and this is to start cannabis retail sales starting May 2025. The sponsor on that was Paul Krizik of Fairfax County. He's a Democrat. The initial rollout is going to allow 350 retail stores, 100 producer processors. So they'll have the same type of breakdown like Washington have with producer processors. The reason why they're ramping this up and they're going, 350 retail stores, 100 producer processors right off the bat is because their numbers that their state has provided to these Democrats said that
I think we lost Zach.
the call that came in. Sorry, my bad. I had a call that came in.
The PCH
it's gonna get rid of a $3 billion illicit market that they've gathered that that's going to be basically the 2024 numbers that the illicit market is going to generate in Virginia by itself. $3 billion illicit market. So they're looking to get, like I said, 350 stores is quite a bit. 100 producer processors right off the bat. They're competing also with Maryland. Keep in mind, so you got that DC area that's just allowed cannabis sales. They're going to be $1 billion market as well too. So it's pretty interesting. Matt, what's your initial thoughts on this, man?
On what? Sorry, I was heating up my dab rig and I missed part of the question.
Oh, on Virginia. So Virginia is going to allow 350 retail stores, 100 producer processors, and this is ramping up to get rid of a $3 billion illicit market, illegal market.
So just like Washington, they'll see very quickly that they're not allowing enough stores and they're allowing too many farms for the amount of stores, and they'll have to expand both, honestly. I mean, they'll probably not have to expand the farms, but definitely the stores. Because in Washington, we're seeing, there's been word that there's only 120 actual farms left in Washington. That's it. All the brands come from 120 farms.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I think states need to start taking note of that and having more retail locations than they have farms. Obviously, initially that will limit the amount of weed each store has, and it'll make the prices higher. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because in Washington, that's what we've seen is way too many farms, not enough stores, and the price plummets. Race to the bottom.
Most definitely.
Limit the farms, have there be more stores, and then the price goes up. Everybody's profitable. Stores are still selling it because people are buying it, and yeah, it's just basic supply and demand. So I love that they're legalizing it and I love that they're doing it, but I think states need to take note of the trends and the results and the numbers in other states and start, making better decisions.
Totally agree, man. What's your thoughts, Steve?
I love it. I love the way they rolled it out. I love that, the processors are going to get a chance to eat. Like kind of like what Matt was saying is it's been rough over here. Normally it's the other way around. There's too much green matter in the market and there's not enough dumping points. And so they've got it figured out. That's cool. They're rolling it out that way. So there's not just an overflow of cannabis into that market. And 350 stores, man, for a state that big is, yeah, they're going to probably need more, but everybody's going to get theirs in that scenario. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that was the first time I've ever seen numbers talking about how much an illicit market is. $3 billion, and showing that's quite a bit of money for them to, try and be able to combat and bring to the market. So another thing that I'm interested in seeing is what their tax strategy is going to be. Are they going to go the same type of market like Washington State is doing, with 37% on the retail, or are they going to try, since they're really combating, are trying to combat the illicit market, are they going to go and try and say, hey, we're going to, have low tax on this so we can get more customers that'll come in? Because you also have, a lot of competition over there too on the rec side too. So it'll be fun. I'll keep us updated on that one. Next one, NBC News is a source for this. This is a veterans group, and they're calling out for the Biden administration to reschedule cannabis. So this was a letter to the Justice Department from a large group of veterans, a coalition for veterans. And so, just to reiterate to our viewers, of course, the Justice Department oversees the DEA. So this Department of VA, that oversees the veterans, they said that, hey, we're going to prohibit denying health services to any veterans that admit to using cannabis in legalized states, but we're not going to offer treatment. So just so we're clear, that's where the status stands for veterans, is that if you live in a state right now and you smoke cannabis and you admit to it to the VA, they're not going to deny you health care, but they're not going to say, hey, that's going to be something that we'll prescribe for you to help with any of your ailments. So that's something that it looks like it's starting to get to a tipping point with how, we've talked about in previous episodes. There's been a lot more traction, a lot more letters going to the president or to government agencies to say, hey, we want to allow cannabis to be legalized, and here's why, here's our coalition. So now we're starting to see veterans standing up for their rights on that and really coming to the light and saying, hey, I use cannabis and I don't want to be denied my benefits. Steve, man, what you think about that?
Man, I think that's all sorts of wrong. We should take good care of our veterans. That's a whole separate issue, but yeah, that's they need to get that corrected fast. They should be able to have access to cannabis. I know that there's been numerous case studies that it's helped with PTSD and a number of other, conditions our veterans suffer from. So I would definitely be pro-veteran in this scenario. So hopefully they get that course corrected here quickly.
Yeah, I'm a mixed bag with it. I mean, of course, I want to supply cannabis for veterans. I think that the timing for the VA to start dispensing that, it's really not their position just yet. Because what it would do is it would put a big barrier in with the VA coalition kind of being a dispensary too, So I think that's one thing that, the government's being pretty careful of. But I think it's a lot more hurdles that we got to jump over before, the VA starts putting their paws on it. Matt, what are your thoughts on this, homie?
You know how to fix all this?
What's that, bro?
Federally legalize cannabis, and then it doesn't matter if veterans smoke weed and they can still get all their benefits. I used to live with a combat veteran who had PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. He's one of my best friends, and he used cannabis in lieu of the 20 different, medications they tried to prescribe him that made him more depressed, made him suicidal, made him impotent, just whatever, like all kinds of different things and issues that came up from the VA. The VA stance is just, feed our veterans pills and just push them aside, here you go away. So yeah, we just need to legalize cannabis so everyone can have access to it, because it's been proven over and over again to be, valuable medically.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Well said. Well said. Sorry to hear that about your friend, too.
But it does, well, no, I mean, he's doing really well now. It sounds like the VA is moving in the right direction, though, right? Like they're starting to say that veterans aren't going to lose their benefits if they use cannabis. Right. They're allowed to use cannabis now, correct?
Yep, definitely.
You did.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. So they're moving in the right direction. But we as a country, again, just need to pull our heads out of our asses and federally legalize it.
Yeah,
agreed.
Totally agree. Yep. Well, we've got one more for you guys. Appreciate your patience. And I know it was about four or five of them. This one came through from Yahoo Finance was a source. And this is the discussion about medical cannabis, the size and the projected size of it going into the next 8 years. So by 2032, they're projecting that the medical cannabis market size is going to reach $40.48 billion, just the medical market. And this is according to a couple of different places, but it's called Towards Healthcare, which is a sister company of Precedence Research out of Canada as well as the U.S. So right now, currently, we're at $12.6 billion worldwide for medical cannabis revenue for 2023. This is a striking striking research that they reported, is that according to the World Health Organization, the WHO, by 2032, they predict that 50 million people will have chronic pain from epilepsy that will live across the world, and that cannabis is in THC with the mixture of CBD is going to be one of the best prescriptions for the chronic pain management of epilepsy. Now, I don't know. I didn't realize there was that many people around the world that had epilepsy, first off. But the WHO is predicting that there's going to be a massive amount of people that's going to be coming down with epilepsy that's going to need cannabis to be able to solve this, enough to the fact that we're going to increase our worldwide medical cannabis sales by 3 to 4 times in the next 8 years, which is crazy when you see the development of the rec market and how cheap you can be able to get high potency THC, on the rec market. It's kind of defeated the need for a medical market from what we thought traditionally. But according to this research, it sounds like the medical cannabis market is going to come back in full resurgence by 2032. Matt, you got any first thoughts on this one, bro?
Can you mention the question to me?
So medical cannabis is going to reach $40.48 billion.
So just my thoughts on the. I mean, it just shows how effective medical cannabis is, and it's still kind of a subject that's not widely enough discussed. So I mean, I think it just shows where the world is headed, where the US is headed eventually, and why Germany and other countries are legalizing cannabis for all of their citizens. I mean, it's something that doesn't really have a negative impact on society, and it brings a lot of things that are positive, not including, income, but, health impacts for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, what you think, bro?
Man, that revenue jump is what stands out to me. You said it went from 3 to projected to 4 billion?
It went from 12 billion globally in 2023 to 40.48 projected. And projections can be massively off. Yeah, those can be completely wrong sometimes. But they're saying it's going to go to 40.4. Yeah, about $40.5 billion.
I love it, man. That's great. It just shows growth. I think the medical cannabis market always goes before rec, so it's always a precursor to rec, which I also love. So that's good, man. The more cannabis, the merrier, and I love how there's at least forecasting for those kind of revenues, because it's a great way to collect taxes for your state, build out infrastructure, etc. So I like to hear that, that's where they have it forecasted, and that's where the medical side at least looks to be going. That's dope.
Yeah. All right, fellas, last one for today that we'll go over. And this is shout out to MJ Biz Daily for this one. This is going to take us all the way to Jamaica. So the U.S. has received its first DEA-sanctioned cannabis import, and it came from Jamaica. So they're doing some trial runs. They're getting it going. A Canadian/Jamaican-based company. It's called Steep Hill Labs. You guys maybe seen those around on like some of the real popular promos and things like that on IG, but they're called Steep Hill Labs. And then you definitely heard of this other one, Canopy Growth. They have a cultivation and processing facility that is in Montego Bay. They exported 8 different cannabis products, 3 distillate products carrying various ratios of THC and CBD. So apparently the DEA quietly has been doing this since 2021. They got permission to be able to have certain licensed research facilities that they can be able to sanction for small numbers of cultivators across the globe that is approved by the agency. So they're doing their first test run for importing cannabis from Jamaica into U.S. soil. So this is the first time this ever happened. Like I said, it came from Canopy Growth, and it came from a farm that was grown by Steep Hill Labs and Canopy Growth in Montego Bay. Steve, take first cracks at this one, man. What do you think?
Man, that's kind of crazy to hear that they would issue a DEA like research license to import that in, and I have a lot of questions, but I'm also more curious as a fan of cannabis. What does cannabis taste, smell, and feel like coming out of Montego Bay? I'm not gonna lie, that sounds exotic. That sounds exotic
I'm
and
trying to see
exciting.
what that like right
Yeah,
there.
I'm trying to see what that does. So, yeah, man, that's encouraging that the DEA is loosening up to that extent to where they're like, yeah, let's import this. And again, I would like to know what the objective here is, but I'm sure they won't release that. So, yeah, I want to try it. Is this the precursor to like global trading? Is that what they're doing? Are they just trying to
It
put a
seems
couple
like it.
feelers out?
It kind of
So
seems like that's the start to it.
yeah, because if that's the case, then that gets me really excited because I'd put our cannabis up against the entire world if this is the Olympics. I think we do pretty well. So that's cool. I'll probably monitor that one from here on out.
I think you're right about that, Steve. I think Washington is the most crowded, competitive market in the world. Just from what I've seen from traveling and going different places, like no market demands a higher quality for a lower price than Washington.
Absolutely
Correct.
right. Damn right about that, man. It's a
Correct.
bougie market. This is definitely a market where if you have some low quality weed and you're trying to run it and think that you're cool, it ain't gonna last that long. And
Ain't that cool?
California's that market as well. I mean, but it's a 10-year market. It's been established for a while, so definitely agree on that. But I want to see what it looks like for the Jamaicans, and hopefully, they can pick a spot that they know that if they can preserve the quality and the cultivation from Jamaica, that's going to be a very profitable marketplace to be able to source your weed from.
Oh, I mean, anywhere. I think it would be like stores will make a living off of, selling weed from around
Yeah.
the world. You know how they have like beer
Yeah.
from around the world and sodas
Yep.
from around the world?
Yeah.
Think of little gift boxes with like
I
weed from
can't
like
wait. I can't wait.
21
Oh
different
yeah.
countries or some shit. You have a
Wow.
gram every day for the whole month of December from a different country.
Just a little box. Yeah, I like the idea of that, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that.
man. 31
Sign me
days of
up.
Christmas.
Nobody steal my
Yeah.
idea. We need to make
Right?
those.
There you
Yeah,
go.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a great idea. Shit.
Well, that's all the cannabis news I had for today. I always usually will start my 420, what I'm saying, before that, and then I usually stumble over the words that are on I've already written down and everything. So now we done finished up, so I'm gonna go ahead and toke up, and we're free for open discussion, fellas. Whatever we want to talk about on our wonderful Friday. Good week. I know the team has been busy. Everybody had something going on. Steve had a great day today personally. Sounds like with the group, getting us lined up with some
Yeah.
stuff that we probably don't want to talk about here, but I mean, hey, good
Yeah.
job, bro. Good work today. I'm a cheers
Appreciate
to
it,
that
man.
one. Matt has been crazy busy as always. He had a couple big conventions that he went to this past week. We had the Super Bowl since we all talked last, and I ain't trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but hey, man, my team that I predicted for the Super Bowl, I'm not
That's
I'm not
true.
happy about it. I'm not happy about it by any
That's
means.
true.
I'm not a Chiefs
That's
fan, but
true.
man, they came through. They definitely came through. So I'm just
Yeah.
I don't know. You think they're going to three-peat though?
Man, I hope not, but I'm not betting against them now. Damn, if he went in there with that kind of stripped out receiving core and beat that 49ers team
Dog.
with those scrubs at wide receiver, come on, bro. Like, he ain't got no running backs and he's out there just lighting people up. That guy's a witch, man. I'm convinced. There's no he had no business with a 35-year-old Travis Kelce roll out there and beat a team with like 9 all pros. I don't know what's going on. They're only going to get better next year. They got cap space. Patrick's probably going to get a few receivers. So yeah, I would take them versus the field at this point for next year.
That was a crazy game, man. I mean, for
I
him
loved
not to
it.
have any
I
receivers,
loved every
scary.
second of that. personally.
You know who was the biggest loser in all of that? Well, there's two big losers in all that. You know the two biggest losers were Tyreek Hill and Eric Bieniemy, man. Has Ben even
Kyle
hired yet for his job?
Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan too.
I love it. I loved every second of it. No, man, I'm not sure. I think the rumor is that Big Red was supposed to retire and he didn't. So I don't know what's going on with the enemy. I don't know why he ain't got a gig, man. But it sounds like he doesn't make a lot of friends and play nice with people.
I mean, I think Bieniemy may end up may benefit him. I don't know with his past. I don't know if he should probably go to college again. I think he should just
Yeah.
take that year off and just chill. And then we also had some good fights too. Looked like
We
you guys had a
did.
wager last
I was gonna get
weekend.
to that. Man, I lost so much money that weekend, bro. God damn it, Volkanovski. You need to get on some HGH quick, bud. Because that Tuporia guy is no joke. No joke. And I don't see anybody beating that dude. Matt had said he's the best boxer in the UFC. And yeah, he probably is the best boxer in the UFC. And man, something that I saw, which is a pretty big deal, not to us in America, but I think Real Madrid is the biggest soccer club in the world, and they're gonna honor him with their biggest opening game, and they're like probably the most famous sports team globally. So that takes the UFC, especially in a country like Spain. They've never had a fighter like that. And it's just his popularity is going to explode, man. And I kind of see him being the face of the UFC for a couple years. Next few years, he's young. His brother's got filthy hands. He's fighting, I think, in a couple weeks. And as far as that weight class, that division goes, I mean, Max Holloway could try, but I don't see that happening. I think Volkanovski's cooked. I think he's been knocked out twice in his last 4 fights, and he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights, so that doesn't excite me. I want to see what Yair Rodriguez does tomorrow night. UFC Mexico is going down, and it's a
they're in
great
Mexico,
card.
right?
Yeah, it's a great card for free, man. There's so many good fights on that card. I was actually kind of surprised it wasn't a pay-per-view. So I always like it when the UFC gives us a freebie. We can go see some good fights. So congratulations, Matt. You got that one right. And yeah, man, there's a lot of good stuff going on in the sports and the fight world.
And now I guess we can
I've
get
been pretty good on picking the UFC fights. I think you're like 0-3 with me right now, Steve, and I won quite a bit from the last fights. I don't know. I got them all right.
Yeah, you did, man.
I was doing pretty good. I mean, some of them were lucky, but that Tapuria one, I knew that fool was going to win. That guy is a bad motherfucker.
He is. He's got some hands. That's for damn sure.
Matt got his shit down when it comes to boxing and MMA. I must admit, man, you've been destroying your knowledge on that is far exceeding what I thought it would, bro. That's for damn sure, man.
Yeah, I just get too emotional with my picks, man, because I love the fighters too much, and I want them to win. So I started thinking it through a little bit. I had to pay my barber some money too on that fight. He took Tupuria too. Oh man, that was rough.
Man, what's up with the Hawks, man? How you guys feeling this year?
I love it, man. I love what we're doing. It's going to be a rebuild year. A lot of people are going to be disappointed in me saying that, but it's a rebuild year, man. It's a whole new staff. It's a whole new experience. You're plugging in 2 brand new schemes on offense and defense, and you're going to have to get all these personalities to coexist with each other, man. And that's going to be, a task in and of itself. But I'm just over the moon about Mike McDonald, man. Every time that fool talks or I read something about him, I'm just like, wow. I come away impressed. Does that mean he's going to be, the second coming of Joe Gibbs? No, it doesn't. But it's got me really excited because his schemes are so fun and he frustrates all these high-powered offenses, and we live in a world of just high-powered offense now. There's not a lot of defense, so I dig it. We got Grubb, the offensive coordinator from UW, so that's really cool. Stole him from Alabama. and his attack is all passing. Well, I mean, we have two receivers that are like all world, and I think DK in that offense is going to go bananas. So I'm real excited. I'm not expecting much until about 2025. So yeah, man, real excited to see what we do with the draft and free agency here, man.
Well, speaking of Seahawks, as soon as we start talking about the team, somebody just decides to pop up all up in our live right now. He must have felt the vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys all know our good brother. He has the best afro in the Pacific Northwest. We got to give him his flowers right now before he comes on. This fella is the first person in Washington State to open a black-owned social equity issued store. Please welcome my good brother, and like I said, the best afro in the Pacific Northwest, maybe the West Coast, Mocha Magic. What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, hold on, let me show off the afro. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Got a little bit of that, a little bit of that soul glow in there today. You can tell because it's absolutely just glistening. You know. I did hear a little bit about what y'all were talking about before I came online, though, man. Steve, how could you say you gotta wait till 2025 to expect anything, bro? I'm expecting something right now. What you mean?
Well, bro, I'll be ecstatic with a wild card spot. I'll be ecstatic, but I'm just trying to temper my expectations, man, because I'll be getting way up here, and then that fall to here is, man, every year,
Well,
bro. And
before you guys get too far with that, I got one more to bring on because we're gonna have a full Good Karma Group show today. We're gonna have the whole members. We're gonna have all the Power Rangers on. So, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, bring on my other brother, my other host. This is a fella that, if I would probably say, I'll put him up against a blunt and a beer competition. He's my first round draft pick. This is a guy who's also sold millions upon millions of dollars of cannabis, an expert in the field. He knows a lot about a lot of different things, as well as football and Seahawks. So this is a good time to bring him into this conversation. My good brother, Big Sean. What's going on with you, man? What's up?
Happy Friday, y'all. Woo!
Yeah, happy Friday, man.
We made it.
Yeah.
Man. Luckily, it was a beautiful day out today. Thank you for the intro, guys. Happy to be here. Excited you guys are talking football. I mean, let's get right after it. It's like we got good Seahawks news in the offseason. It's a glorious time.
What's your real? Let me ask you guys this, and you guys can start with whoever. What are your real expectations for the Seahawks next season? Like right now, where you're at. What's your overall score that you think they're going to come out with the record? Are they going to make it to the preseason? Do you think it's probably going to be a dump year? What's your thoughts, man?
No, so it looks to me like by kind of redoing Geno Smith's contract to make next year give us a nice break on our cap hit next year, but then the year after that his cap hit goes up to like 38 million. So I think that we have expectations to perform next year. I think we have a quarterback that's been taking us to the playoffs. I think that our the system that we've built and the people in place that aren't football players, we now have an expectation that as long as there's decent talent out there, that they'll take us to the playoffs and give us a shot at having some fun. And that's the best place to be as a fan. You think that you've got a shot each year to just get your toe wet, get in the playoffs, and then magic can happen,
What's your record? What you think?
I think just
out
above
of 17 games. Where you at?
Yeah, I think just above 500, so 9-8. I think 10-7 could happen, but I think that would have to be. I mean, with the Seahawks, they pull kind of solid years out of their ass. So I could see next year with cutting Jamal Adams, having some space there, having some of our guys mature a little bit, and bringing Gino back, who seems to be pretty calm and confident, at least up here on this team. We got a shot at the playoffs,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with all that what Sean just said, man. Listen, I'll give them a B if they're at 9-8 by the end of the year. I think it's a
Oh, me
solid
too.
grade. I think they're moving and grooving, but I think 10-7 to me, just given the scheme that they're bringing in, given the coach that they're bringing in, given the fact that they're struggling largely on defense last year, I don't know. I mean, I anticipate that most fans will not be expecting regression. That's for sure.
No.
True.
No, but my answer may be very different after I see what happens in the draft and free agency, because what Sean was just saying, I was watching a salary cap show today, and if we cut Diggs, Adams, which both look very likely, Brian Monet, who didn't even play last year, the Nick Ballore guy, who's a special teams, whatever, and was more of a mascot, it frees up $37 million on the books.
Boom.
So we could have $37 million in cap space. That's a dumb number. You can do just about anything you want with $37 million. And if we get our draft right, then my answer may shift over to 11-5. I just need to see what happens. And, it looks like Gino's going to be our quarterback. I did see that, by restructuring his deal, it makes him very trade friendly to another team, even though we'd have to absorb his salary, the $12.9 million, but it would defer the $38 million you were talking about the next year. So it's going to be real curious to see how they're going to do that. If they want Gino, great. Well, I want to draft a guy so we can develop him while Gino's figuring it out. But yeah, I'm excited for the draft, man. I'm real excited for free agency here in, less than 2 weeks.
I agree. Pretty stoked. I think free agency has turned into there's not a lot of fluff in free agency. I think the owners and the GMs have done their job by kind of devaluing some positions and kind of getting the money right on a lot of positions these days. And so I think compared to times in the past where you could really fuck up in free agency, I think that the values are more true. I think the league has learned to discount older players. That used to be a Sonics thing and a Seattle sports thing in general. Like, God, we picked up fucking Patrick Ewing for the Sonics, right? It's like we used to love to go get people that are so old and past their prime and pay a bunch of money for them because they're a big name. Jerry Rice, like that.
Terrell Owens.
Franco Harris.
Wow. That white dude we had on the end for a while that was supposed to be super good, and he just wasn't. Like
Grant Windstrom?
Maybe. Oof. It's been
Patrick
a while.
Kearney?
I think it was Kearney.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was dope.
Kearney was kind of nice. He was dope.
Yeah, he was kind of nice.
The Pro Bowl year.
He was good. It might not be him, but just countless examples of Seattle over-investing in aged talent. And I think that the leagues in general have kind of come to agreement that older players should be discounted. There could be wide receivers like DeAndre Hopkins out there again for a bargain. And, like, that guy's got hands. I don't care how fast he is. So, like, instead of those guys being super valuable still, like maybe generations in the past, I think the number they should get paid is a little more honest nowadays. So I'm really excited for free agency too.
Hell yeah. What about you, Zach? Man, it looks like you and Matt got your head coach going to hang around. That's a pretty cool thing. And what are you going to do in that draft, man? You going to get
Raiders.
And Brady's a part of your fucking organization. Can't wait to see
so
what
fucking
goes on
dope.
there.
Doesn't hurt.
Bro, that's a fucking cheat code, bro. And I'm
gonna tell you guys like this, bro. From an OG that has lived through the Antonio Brown saga, I just keep my fucking mouth shut. I don't say shit. I just waited till everybody gets on the field and we just get to work. Bro, we lost Cliff Kingsbury from Magic Johnson. Just came in and just Mr. Took Your Girl, just snatched him up. more money, more opportunity. He bounced. Luke Getsy, I get it. He seems like he's a guy that can be able to adapt to systems. I love Antonio Pierce. I like the moves that he's made with the coaching staff so far. I think that the acquisition of Jack Jones was good, but also keeping our assistant GM was solid last year, Champ Kelly. He's a guy that was like the cement behind everything. He made everything stick. He made sure that everybody's job was done, the scouting department, the management, the free agents, the whatever it was. He was the guy that he had a chair in every single office and made sure that he knew exactly what their jobs were. So I'm glad that with Tom Telesco as the new GM, they kept him for now as the assistant GM. And I know how that probably would feel for somebody to be the assistant GM and then go have an opportunity where the GM is fired. You interview for that position, and then they're like, look, man, you still don't cut it. Yeah, I know you've been in the building for a while, but we're going to go take a different direction.
That's rough.
We're going to get the other guy. And then to just stay there. That's very humbling for him, which says a lot about his personality and his upbringing. So
Yeah.
I think that we got a bunch of humble dudes, and they just don't show it by, just talking about it. They actually are humble by doing some of that stuff. And who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just wait to see what the deal is. But one thing too, before we go on, I'm going to make sure that Kelly and Sean, you guys get a quick little rundown of what we talked about. I won't go into everyone and just get your initial feedback for them. I'll just burn through all of them, and then you guys can just give me a breakdown of what your overall take is for all of them. So we started in Germany. Breaking news today: Germany allowed cannabis legalization. It was a 407 yes to 226 no vote. They're the third country in Europe to allow cannabis. Malta and Luxembourg is the other one. The new law allows adults to cultivate 3 plants for private consumption, can process 50 grams at one time, or they can possess 50 grams at one time, and they can in their home, and they could have 25 grams in public starting April 1st. July 1st, they're going to allow nonprofit cannabis clubs to have no more than 500 members per cannabis club, and you can't consume cannabis near schools or playgrounds. Then we moved to Virginia, where they talked about there has been a legislative compromise, they call it, that was agreed upon, which allows the retail cannabis sales to start in May 2025. The sponsor for it was Paul Krizak from Fairfax County. It's going to allow 350 retail stores, 100 processors, producer processors, and they say that they went aggressively with that many licenses to try and battle their $3 billion illicit market. So the next one after that we talked about was the Veterans Cannabis Group. They wrote a letter to the Biden administration to reschedule cannabis. And the letter was actually sent to the Justice Department, which is the oversight committee for the DEA. And they said that the VA has prohibited the rights from denying health services to veterans who use cannabis in legal states, but they do not offer it as a treatment currently. So they're urging the Biden administration to legalize it so that the Veterans Administration can be able to recognize cannabis as a therapeutic resource. Also, from the Yahoo Finance, there was a medical cannabis market research recently done that was projecting the medical market to reach $40.48 billion by 2032, the next 8 years. Check this out. According to the WHO, there is going to, World Health Organization, there's going to be 50 million people worldwide who's going to suffer from chronic pain due to epilepsy. Currently, the market is at 2023. We hit 12.6 billion dollars last year in 2023. So they're projecting that in the next 8 years, we're going to have 3 times that amount just in the medical cannabis market globally. Right now, the North America is 56% of the global market for medical cannabis. And then lastly, we talked about in Jamaica, the DEA has just recently received their first sanctioned cannabis import that came in from Jamaica as a part of a collective that was a Canadian Jamaican company, Steep Hill Labs, as well as Canopy Growth. So they cultivated this product in Montego Bay. They exported 8 different types of products. So 3 of them were distillate products carrying various ratios of THC and CBD. And the DEA proved this research completely. And apparently since 2021, this has been in existence where the DEA has been licensed to research and been able to buy cannabis from small batch processors or producers or cultivators that they approve for the agency. So this is the first time that we've seen an imported cannabis product from Jamaica make it over here to the United States as a trial study. So that's the latest and greatest. I think we probably got about 30 to 15 minutes or so. So I'll let you guys chomp at that one. If you wanna address anything on that, Sean. I know it was a lot. Sorry, but
No,
see
it's
what
all
you guys'
right.
thoughts on that one was, bro.
Yeah. So for the Germany thing, I mean, a round of applause.
Right? Absolutely.
It's great to hear. I think we heard rumblings of this, so it's great to hear an update that's happening. So that's huge. The 500-person club limit, that seems odd. That's not the retail front, right? That's just for like smoking lounges.
You got it.
Okay, so that's just their way of putting a capacity on big old smoking festivals, I guess. But so I guess I understand. That'll probably be revisited down the line, but it's their attempt to keep things from going out of control. But retail sales going live, that's amazing. Germany remains as one of the bigger, tourist destinations still in Europe and the world. So I think that's massive for cannabis in general. Just skipping to the United States import of Jamaican weed, that's very interesting that they have now decided that it is integral to their research to get cannabis from different regions of the world. And so, I mean, any of us as consultants could have told them this a long time ago, but it's interesting to watch the federal knowledge grow in cannabis. And I think we can kind of see what they're doing here. They're going, all right, well, now let's see the differences when it's grown, where it's from, landrace strains. They're cracking into that on the development side, probably for the first time. So it's fun to kind of be ahead of the government in terms of like our knowledge in a specific topic. So I think that's really cool for us. And it was proven there with their recent actions. But yeah, you can't study weed completely without getting some Jamaican weed. Come on. I mean, that's pretty cool. They can do that. I wish that I could do the same, but how do you feel, Kelly?
I mean, on the German front, I think that's pretty fascinating, considering such a large percentage of their GDP is pharmaceuticals. That's an interesting move by that government there. I'd be interested to know how much or how little the pharmaceutical industry in Germany was. I just want to know how much they took a part in, or whether or not they were responsible for this legislation. I know they do have a lot of control in that country, so I'm interested. Normally, when we see pharmaceutical control, we don't see a whole lot of cannabis progressivism, but that clearly wasn't the case there. I'm excited for Germany. I know they just had, I think it was ICBC last year in Berlin.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that probably everybody on this pod here probably already knew that they were going to pass some kind of cannabis legislation soon. But it's good to see that they made it official, because ultimately, I think the first countries to fall there are probably going to have the best market, especially those that immediately pull from some of the, let's say, some of the intellectual capital that exists in the States already. I mean, if they start throwing some money around, they can get all the growers they need. They can get all the, the extractors they need. They can get just about any professional they need out in Germany right now. So
They're going to get scammed by everyone.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of scamming. I mean, holy shit.
I'm going to
But
go
in
tell them
between
I
it
have
all,
12 years of extraction experience. Let's
I have
go.
100
Have
years.
everybody go to Germany, boy.
and
I
it'll
got
be
100
interesting
years
because
of cannabis
Matt's
experience.
right.
You know, I
Uh,
went
and
to
they-
Amsterdam College, all that.
everyone's just going to be lying out their ass. But it'll be an interesting consulting opportunity for a lot of groups that can get out there that actually have some good ideas to share. As far as their rule about the 500, head count limit, it's pretty obvious where that rule's going. I mean, it's going to go the way of the fucking dinosaur. I don't see how there could be any way that you could possibly enforce something like that, not knowing if people are actually consuming or not consuming. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know what I mean? How much melanin you got in your skin? Other than that, I can't really imagine figuring that out. So I could just see that kind of going away. And then,
do you see what the model that they built? It just hit me in my head just now. So what they're going to do is they've cultivated a retail market that exists of the citizens. So you can walk around the streets with 25 G's as you come and go. If the cop stops you, I got almost a zip on me, all good. So you can be able to have 50 grams in your house. So I mean that kind of sucks, but if you can be able to figure out some of the rules behind that, with weight limits and having other friends that are carrying that in their homes too, you're basically you're your own dispensary, and then people would have to go to the clubs to be able to smoke it because you can't smoke it near any parks or schools or where children are present. So you got to go to these clubs and pay for the ability to be able to go in there and smoke it, and you have to buy it. If I'm a tourist and I want some weed, I got to find one of the residents. I got to find a dude on you know what I mean. So I think that's kind of like what they've blueprinted to me. It seems like. Don't it seem like to you guys?
I mean,
definitely. It just I don't know if it works in practice. Like once I have the joint in my hand, I'm just gonna walk outside and light this bitch up. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's tough, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I think without knowing kind of the history of the politics there around cannabis, it's hard to pinpoint why. But I do think that one thing in response to what Kelly said about the pharmaceutical pushback that probably exists there, I think it could exist, and maybe it's the reason it took so long. I know that Germany is pretty subculture. Very prominent graffiti epicenter is Germany. I know that with many subcultures, we can just assume marijuana is attached to a lot of them, and that's not me demonizing anything. That's me saying everybody smokes weed unless they're really indoctrinated not to, for the most part, in my opinion. So maybe that's just Germany, finally winning what was a longer battle than it needed to be based on that pharmaceutical pushback.
I could definitely see that. And then on that third topic, I came in just at the tail end of it, so you'll have to remind me, what that third subject was there.
That one's for the veterans. Did you hear about that one?
The veterans? No.
Okay, so this came from NBC News. There's a veterans group that calls for the Biden administration to reschedule cannabis. So there was a letter that went to the Justice Department that has oversight of the DEA, of course, and they cited that the Department of VA is prohibited from denying health services to veterans who use cannabis in states where it's legal, but it also does not offer cannabis as a treatment. So that's their position where they're coming from. That's their case is, hey, we need to have, cannabis federally legal so that the Veterans Administration can be able to administer cannabis to us as a therapeutic recommendation in states that are not only legal, but if you can be able to have it legal federally across all states, this will be able to open up an avenue for cannabis to all the other veterans service members that are in states that it's not legal, like, of course, Texas and stuff, where there's a lot of prominent veterans out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well as Joe Rogan.
Who wishes he
Oh,
was a
Joe.
veteran?
Joe be smoking heavy out there, boy. I don't know how he
Oh,
do
yeah.
that, man. He be out there in Texas going crazy.
I think that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty interesting there. I mean, so I may have heard a little bit of that actually. I may have heard a little bit about that. But my only response to that, and this is the very unfortunate reality I think we all find ourselves in with living in a kind of wonky country sometimes. I don't know of how many policies are enacted because the veterans want it. I don't really know if there's that many at all. Maybe there should be, considering how much they've given up to make sure that we can all kind of live some pretty lax lifestyles back here in the States. But I don't really know how much our politicians give a shit. I don't really know that, but I do know that more and more of these groups that come out,
Bingo.
especially it is gonna drive us in the right direction, and so that kind of support is excellent. I still think there's a lot of work to do to figure out how this federal rollover is going to work and how people don't get screwed. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, talk about pharmaceutical pushback.
Yeah, no
For real. They're like, hell no, man. You taking all the veterans from us? That's our best client. One of our best clients. Yeah, no, hell no.
I'm telling you, that's going to be hard to lobby, man. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, as a former medic, man, the one therapeutic thing that we would just easily dispense was ibuprofen 800s, like 800 milligrams. That's like
those oval hospital looking ones.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about, man. They tear your stomach up. You got to eat like 2 or 3 meals just to be able to coat your stomach to take one about. And there's some veterans that would eat multiple amounts of those, just to be able to get over their knee pain and stuff.
A stronger, painkiller as well on top. Because when I broke my arm, I was prescribed 800 milligram ibuprofen and a narcotic painkiller to take at the same time. So that combination, if it's being prescribed, is being taken a lot.
Yeah, Tylenol 3s was another one that was crazy back then, man. So it's good to. I mean, I don't know how I feel about service members in cannabis, like actively serving.
Right.
As a veteran myself, this is where it's coming from, and I can only speak for me alone. But I know that cannabis unlocked a lot in my brain where I was like, maybe we shouldn't go to war. I turned into a hippie, man.
Are you sure that was the cannabis and not the hallucinogens?
Well, it could be that too, but I can definitely say
cannabis.
Well, whoever it did, thank you. First
he
off,
ate that mushroom edible instead of the weed one.
Hey, you know what? That's a funny story because I did my first cannabis on the rec market. I had was a ginger snap cookie, and I was like stuck. It really was impressive.
Yo,
and it opened my mind to it.
My first experience with cannabis was an edible too, and it almost made me never want to use cannabis again. I remember laying there in my friend's recliner, like not able to move, like literally paralyzed, and thinking to myself, like, if I have to drop a deuce right now, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yeah.
I literally, I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, like I could hear, and that was it. And I remember my mouth was so dry, and he finally came and shook me awake and brought me like a Sprite and some like old leftover pasta that like I would normally think was gross as fuck. And it was the best food and Sprite I'd ever had in my life.
Hey, when you need some refreshments, that Sprite hits different.
I don't recommend edibles for a first time use though. Well, at least not medical edibles, like that were probably improperly dosed.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
real
you got to
talk though.
smoke a bowl or a joint for your first time. I think for sure.
What's your go-to snack when you guys are stoned?
Ooh.
You know, I'll start this off because mine's going to be the most boring answer. It's been healthy snacks these days, man. I cut up some cheddar cheese, some apples, and some Ritz crackers like I'm feeding my 3-year-old, and I'm feeding my inner 3-year-old
This
that is
motherfucker.
super stoned. But before that,
Hey,
and
time out. This reminds. Hey, have you seen that Dave Chappelle joke, right? Where he was like, "I've been studying about what white people eat."
there you go, man.
Damn, bro.
Hey,
Motherfucker got some apples cut up, some peanut butter and
we
shit,
got
bro.
you. I got you. All right.
You trying to say that Sean thinks mayonnaise is spicy?
hey,
Hey,
you know what?
I'm kind of curious.
I am well seasoned and appreciate well seasoned food, and I like spicy food too. But look, my
My bad.
snacking
So
went
you said cheese, apples, and what else, bro?
and like some Ritz crackers, and you know, this is only if
I'm with that.
you know, if and after I've crushed all of my son's ice cream sandwiches. But that usually happens in like the day after we get groceries, and then I got a whole week to just eat healthy snacks like my son, and it's been good, man. Because I used to just crush half a box of like fucking cereal every night and drink a
Sean,
shitload of milk in my late 30s, and that was not good.
Sean, have you ever looked at Black Twitter?
I have looked at Black Twitter, and it's especially
check this
spicy at
out.
night. Black Twitter
Bro,
at
check this
night or
out.
something. It's been a while.
Hey, so check this out. So on Black Twitter, they constantly would talk about, like during COVID era, they would constantly talk about how the new boyfriend would move in with your baby moms and would eat all your kids' snacks.
Oh
So
yeah,
you're the
wearing your
husband,
flip flops.
bro. Yeah, bro. You're the husband and you're the new boyfriend, bro. Your lady's lucky, man. You know what I'm saying? You eat all your kids' snacks, man. Like, hey,
Look,
man, you all right?
hey, at least he pays half the bills, you know.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
So
Nah, man. So
I like to eat
apple,
anything with sugar.
anything with sugar?
Anything, I mean, just sugar in general. I mean,
Yeah,
like really,
yeah.
like anything within reach. Like if I don't have sugar, I'll just eat junk food until and then I complain every morning that my stomach hurts. It's pretty cool.
Scoop of frosting. You guys ever do that one?
Yep. Same. Pretty much.
Well, I wonder why it hurts too. I'm like, oh my god, my stomach hurts. I probably have something wrong with me. No, it's because you ate 3 bags of candy, 2 ice cream sandwiches, a grilled cheese, and some waffles at 10:30.
Yeah, Eggos are always right around the corner for me. Eggos. Oh, I crushed 2 Eggos about 2 a.m. 2 nights ago. Now that you mentioned them.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucking animals. Absolute fucking animals, bro.
What you eat,
It's a
bro?
wonder I'm not 300 pounds.
What you is you walking all the damn time.
Look, they
Yeah,
call me
bro.
Big Sean for a reason.
I guarantee he's walking right now. I guarantee he's walking
Yep,
right now.
100%. He's pacing like a prisoner right now. Oh
You're not
shit,
wrong.
bro. I'll be having actually lately, man. I've been making these giant meal prep batches of beef stew, and I have been fucking eating a ridiculous amount of beef stew. I mean, a lot. An absurd amount of beef stew. Like, bro, and it goes super. It ain't even a beef stew. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It's a beef bourguignon. I mean, it's like I made my pearl onions and shit. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't do that, but I can spell pearl onion. I can do that, bro. I can do that. I'm telling you right now, boys. If you're high as shit, and you have a nice red wine bourguignon, bro. Listen, man, throw all that other shit out. You know what I mean? Put that shit.
You actually have the patience and the time to make that when you're stoned?
Hide your ladies.
100%.
Wow.
I'm like Martha Stewart over here when I'm stoned, bro. I'm about to clean some shit, cook some shit. You know what I mean? About to meal prep it up. Make a couple of tacos, call it a night.
Gay or anything, Kelly, but I'm just kidding.
Listen, bro. Listen, man. You know, if you're paying my bills, I'll cook you some shit. Here we go.
Sheesh.
No, we should.
You hear that, ladies?
Oh shit. Actually, we should do a little cookout one of these days, though. Steve, what the fuck you eating on, man? What you eat when you high as shit?
Same shit I always eat, man. Strawberry Pop-Tarts. I kill a whole box, bro.
I love this.
I got some waiting on me right now. As soon as I get off this StreamYard,
Frosted.
I got that shit in the queue. Oh, they have to be frosted, man, and they have to be branded. I'm not doing the off-brand Walmart tarts or the other shit.
Hell no,
It's
that
gotta
shit
be
has
a
sawdust
Pop-Tart.
in it.
They got to be a Pop-Tart, man, and they hit perfect every time.
Yes, sir. Amen.
My go-to every time is a 2-part combo.
Okay.
Some almond milk with some honey bunches of oats.
Hey, look.
Keep it simple.
Ain't,
You know,
ain't
a little
nothing wrong
crunch,
with
a little soft with it. It's like Frosted Flakes for adults. You
What
know
color
I'm saying?
box? The blue box with almonds?
I get the OG. I just get the brown box, and then
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
throw some blueberries in that joint. I'll throw some
Oh,
fresh
hell yeah.
blueberries in there, or whatever fruit. Chop it up, throw it in there. It's a full meal. You can eat it right before you go work out. Stoned, you hungry? Just mash that down real quick. You'll be reconsidering all the bad thoughts you had earlier. You get a little blueberries, a little strawberry, throw a little banana in that bitch sometimes.
That's
Go
why
for
my
a trail,
son
go
is
for
so
a hike.
happy all the time. He crushes
Yeah, man,
blueberries.
go hit a hike, man. You're all good, man. You know what I'm saying? They actually, I look, well, of course, you guys know, I look up a lot of just random ass shit and research. They say that the most abundant food for you to eat, just you have one food, is the blueberry. Smash you down a blueberry. Has all your micronutrients, has everything you need. So your son's onto something, man. The blueberries be important, bro.
Yeah, they be hitting the wallet too. He crushes about $9.95 worth of blueberries every day. I watched that little carton go, and I'm like, "Yo, those are $8.99 plus tax each." I need a blueberry subscription.
All right, damn, bro. What happened to the days of dollar Lunchables, bro? God damn.
The best.
Hey,
I'm trying to go pick my own blueberries at that place by the freeway.
You need a blueberry patch, bro. God,
Yeah.
he said eat about $9 to them organic joints every damn. I thought you'd be like every week.
day.
You know, every day, bro.
Bro,
Every day. God,
Hey, Kelly.
dang.
He can open the fridge now, so I visit the fridge myself a few times a day, and I'm just watching this tiny carton just. I'm glad to know they're good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, honey bunches of oats, bro.
Honey bunches
I'll be
of
fucking with them. I'll be fucking with them frozen blueberries, bro.
Oh,
Frozen blueberries and frozen grapes, man. I eat them motherfuckers like popsicles.
Man.
Yo, have you ever had the cotton candy ones?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The frozen cotton candy grapes, bro,
they're cultivated
delicious.
out here. They're cultivated out here in like Eastern Washington, Prosser area.
No way.
Well,
Are you talking about that?
Boy on.
Bro,
You're talking about that candy, the candy grapes. All the candy grapes are from Prosser.
They're from Prosser. WSU has a grape department, I guess.
Stop it.
Yeah, bro. And they cultivated. They said they wanted to make the sweetest grape in the world, and they made this cotton candy grape, and they grew it probably about 15 minutes that way.
So they have a few different kinds now, bro. I follow that grape. It's a grapery, and they have like 4 or 5 different kinds now. They have like the cotton candy. They have a gumdrop.
Oh, hell yeah.
A bunch of different ones, dude. And oh my God. They're so fire.
I'm with it. I like that. That's my go-to as well. I love me some grapes and those stones, man. Just fresh fruit. You can't go wrong with that, man. You know what I mean?
Where's that cotton candy grape crunch?
What's that? Oh,
where's the cotton candy grape rosin? Where's it at?
I got some modified grapes. I got some mod grapes I've been smoking on. That's just amazing, man. Oh my God, man. I was gonna ask Steve, bro, what's the updates with the big homies up here, with the aliens, dog.
Oh man, we had some
GOD.
Yeah, I'm like,
with the aliens, bro. What's going on with the aliens, man? You know they be listening. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, fill us in. We need our update, Steve. I know they gave
It's
you
funny. Yeah, it's funny that you asked today. Remember last year when we shot down those weather balloons, but then they wouldn't release any of the footage and really tell us shit from
Yeah.
Oh, I
China?
forgot
Are you
about
talking
that
about the
shit.
Chinese spy satellites?
No, the balloons, and we shot them down, and they weren't weather balloons. And they wouldn't. And they rejected all the FOIA requests on them. It was really shady. Well, today we shot down some weather balloons
No way.
over the U.S. again, and it's super secret. They're not really disclosing much, but we did it today. They're not releasing which state it was, but we caught something in our airspace, and we decided it shouldn't be there, and so we went ahead and took it out.
Are they trying
And
to say it's Chinese weather balloons again?
yes,
Oh
they're
my
trying to say
god.
it's Chinese weather balloons,
It's either
and
China or Canada. One of the two. China or Canada.
it's like, dude, we know. Yeah, like cat's out of the bag. You got whistleblowers coming to Capitol Hill left and right, saying like now it's just known. Like the secret's out there that all these private defense contractors have craft, have people who are coming forward in the whistleblower line, and it's gonna be really really interesting to see how it rolls out because man, a lot of people could go to jail. So I think they're fighting tooth and nail to keep a lid on it, to prevent that and all the other fallout that'll follow it by saying, yeah, it's just a Chinese weather balloon. Just move along, people. That's all it is.
Why do you think
But
people
no.
would go to jail? Because hasn't the
Oh,
government acknowledged
dude.
that aliens are around?
That's a whole. Well, they haven't called them alien. What they're calling them is NHI, non-human intelligence. They won't say the word alien, so it's just non-human
Frickin'
intelligence. So
That's
do
good,
with
but it's
that
because
what
the
you
fucking
will.
whistleblowers came out, bro, and they were like, "Yo, we can't necessarily say alien. They're more
Yeah,
like interdimensional."
interdimensional.
And you're like, "What?
Yeah, yeah, which
Fuck
is
does that
almost
mean?"
scarier. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
To me,
but what the fuck
that's
does that mean, bro?
yeah,
It
yeah.
means
Because alien.
it's one of the movies we've seen. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's gonna be one of
well,
the movies.
yeah, yeah. But they won't. But they won't. Release any footage or wreckage of the balloons we shot down.
No shit.
They get real weird about the FOIA requests, and it's like, dude, if it's a simple weather balloon you shot down, just post a picture of it, and it'll kill all the conspiracy people. But they can't.
What?
So,
Bro,
just
I
real
hope Will
interesting.
Smith is in good shape, man. We're gonna need him.
Shit. Yeah, yeah. So that's the latest and greatest, man, on the old UFO deal, and
Oh.
more and more whistleblowers are coming forward. And I actually sent Zach a video the other day of this guy standing underneath a triangle, and it looks crazy. Like he drives and he catches it, and it's always those videos we've all seen where we're like, man, like put the camera in focus, please, and
Yeah.
don't cut the video off. No, this dude like gets out of the car, walks 100 meters, gets right underneath it, and just sits there and is like,
iPhone
holy
13.
shit. And I'm like, bro, no, this is an iPhone 15, so it looks
iPhone
good.
15. As long as it's not a
Yeah.
flip phone like the rest of these fucking videos.
So I'm 50-50 on it because you would have to have balls that fit in a wheelbarrow to walk up to an unknown object and stand
I'm about to say, bro, there ain't no fucking
directly
way.
beneath it in the fucking woods at night.
If I
or
didn't
it's
have kids,
bullshit.
man, I might.
So,
Bro,
Hey,
I
Steve,
mean,
what was the deal with you guys
If
may
Will
have talked
Smith
about
was
this
with me, I
already.
might.
What was the deal with that big announcement that came out last week,
which one?
Steve?
which one?
That one from the they said that they're urging the Biden administration to release it to the public.
Oh yeah, that got swept under the rug too. They won't tell us. Oh, so yeah, no, my bad. That one, they're saying that Russia now has a orbital nuclear weapon.
Oh my
So
smoke, dog! I'm at the
so
smoke. You got me stressed
so
out, man.
How?
so now that
Yeah. What the
Russia
fuck does
has
that
a
mean?
no, let me unpack this for you guys real quick. So
Okay,
basically
you got me stressed out, man.
what they're saying is, yo, we need money for the Space Force. Let's go ahead and make a fake enemy, because if you've been paying any kind of attention to the Ukraine war, The
Yeah.
Russians are getting their ass whipped using World War II tech. So how the fuck are they using World War II tech, but they have orbital nuclear capabilities?
Yeah,
No,
their tanks aren't even
no,
working. Like their most modern
no,
tanks, they're saying like the electronics are made out of cardboard.
dude.
You know, it's stuff from the
Yeah,
90s.
they're they're having to draft guys out of their prisons because they have so much desertion among their ranks because they can't even maintain their supply lines. And this would be like us invading Oregon. Like there's no water between them and Ukraine or mountain barrier. So it's really embarrassing for the world's supposed second strongest army to be getting their ass whipped
So
by a tiny little country.
you think
So
it's a
basically
ploy to get funding from the
yes,
Pentagon?
they're gonna start pumping a fuckload of money into the space program. And all of a sudden, Zach, they did that. And guess what we did yesterday? All of a sudden, for the first time since 1964.
What's that?
We went back to the moon, and nobody gives a fuck,
We
and
went to the
nobody knows
moon?
about it. Exactly. So
No,
where
we
We
did they
haven't
get the
didn't.
landed
funding
there
for
yet.
that? Where did they get the funding for it? We've already
We're
landed a
we're
rover, and there's a crew shortly behind it. So
yeah,
something's going on on the moon.
the crew's only 4 years behind. I've got some answers
Wait,
on that for
wait,
you
you
there,
know
Steve.
about this, Kelly?
I
4
do.
years
That one
behind, dog?
I
Four
don't
that
know,
one
years.
4
gets
years.
yeah, I think it's only 4 years,
It,
2030, right?
it doesn't take 4 years to get to the moon.
No, it takes.
No,
Are they
no,
going
no,
to
no.
Mars?
It does take 4 years to figure out how to shield human beings from the radiation that they'll immediately receive the second they leave the beautiful and lovely home that has a
Well,
gigantic radiation shield on it.
we've done that though. Like we've walked on the moon before.
Yeah, we have, but
Well,
what we did in the past. Well, okay, so if you believe that we landed, right? There's two camps here. If you believe that we landed, what we really did is we said, okay, well, listen, there's nothing we can do to avoid the radiation that these astronauts are going to receive. We just simply do not have the tech. So we're just going to race out there anyway. We're going to put them out there, and we're not going to really tell anybody about this massive radiation belt just outside the planet. Literally, the second you leave our magnetosphere, you're under enough radiation to be killed. I mean, very quickly. So
Where'd the radiation
obviously,
come
there's
from?
two camps there from the sun.
Okay.
So obviously, there's two camps there, right? There's the camp that says, well, you never went because obviously that radiation would kill you immediately. And then there's the other camp that says, well, you went, but we just didn't really care what it did to the human body. And both I could definitely believe for the United States. Now, as
Yeah.
far as this kind of gets into a little bit of trade positioning here for the moon. They found very large deposits, and it could be anything, right? Who the fuck knows what they're actually going there for? But what is largely reported is that there's these very large deposits of a special kind of helium on the southern side, or the southern dark side of the moon. So the side of the moon that we do not see because it is tidally locked. And so down there, right there on the edge of, let's say on its sunrise line, right there on that edge, right towards the south, there's large craters down there that haven't seen sunlight in many, 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 many years. And they believe that in those pools, in those craters, there's a large buildup of a special kind of helium, and this helium will be used in the next stage of our fusion and fission reactors. So like
okay.
later on in about 10, 20 years, when we start to move into this next stage of fusion, that is going to require a special kind of helium. I believe it's called helium-3, and it is located right there in those pools. So right now, what's being largely reported around the demography circles, let's say, is that all the countries are now racing to those pools because whoever controls helium-3 controls the future of fusion.
Damn.
Got it.
And
Well,
we're
that could
all
tie
trying.
into it too.
That was a
Yeah, I
great
need to
job
do
explaining
another.
that, bro.
That was beautiful breakdown. I need to do another maybe podcast on just the moon by itself and what it could be and what could be on the dark side of the moon and these obelisks they have pictures of on the moon that cast shadows that are like 400 feet tall and stuff like that. So I would be
Well,
very
it's also
curious.
worth noting that that special type of helium also exists on large, now obviously it's really difficult for us to reach the Oort cloud. That's really fucking far away.
Yeah, that's
I know
way up.
it's really, really, really far away, but there are comets and asteroids that come through the galaxy regularly that also contain this helium. So it's not the only place, like there's also Titan, there is Mars where they think that they might be able to find it as well. And so it really isn't the only place. It's the closest place. And I mean, let's keep it real, right? Where's the best place you could possibly hide technological development? Well, it's definitely on the dark side of the moon. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be H3. It could be H3 deposits, but it could also just be, a staging ground for a new military development, say.
Exactly. So I think that emergency press conference that the Russians can nuke us from space now. Man, if you're paying attention to what's going on in Ukraine, like that's just a cover to just hemorrhage a bunch of money into the defense contractors, and who knows what's going on up there.
And I will tell you right now, that's bullshit. 100%. Because ultimately, what 100%. The United States is afraid of, the United States is not afraid of somebody having a nuclear weapon already in space. The United States is afraid of somebody like China firing a hypersonic missile that cannot be defended against at all. And so if you fire a hypersonic nuclear or a nuclear missile, it's going to hit the target because nobody can stop it, not even the host country that fires it. So, I mean, ultimately, I think we're probably more afraid of that than anything. And that the Space Force isn't necessary for that. That's orbital defense, which we already have. We've had that long before the Space Force. That started back in Star Wars under Reagan.
Yep. So I'm not tripping, or it's aliens and they're up there and they want funding. They want funding to dump into these black programs to go study them a lot closer.
Or it's aliens. I think our government already has contact with the aliens, or someone on the planet does.
I absolutely agree.
So I just realized I didn't know. Kelly, you guys know that lady who makes the infused edibles and goes to all the events, like the hyper infused like chocolates? Is it Roy and what's his wife's name? You know who I'm talking about, Kelly? They used to do Orgrown, I think, or Orgrow or whatever. Boggy Boon, that's them. So I accidentally just ate one of her chocolates, and then after the fact, I found out it had 500 milligrams in it.
Oh my God, God be with you.
And now we're talking about aliens. Let's go.
Space Cadet program.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's gonna be good.
Good luck.
Thanks.
They taste really good, so I can see why you did it.
Oh, it was so fire. And I was like, this is infused. I thought it was just chocolate because, you guys are talking about sweets and being stoned. And
they're so good.
Stoned and I needed some sweets. And I accidentally ate a very infused sweet.
I'm glad it's Friday for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, y'all.
Yeah. So what are you guys smoking on right now?
Smoking on some, what do I got? Some Too Cool and some Drip Station. Pretty fire.
From Green Rush?
No, from Soulshine.
What?
Yep. Soulshine's got some really good new genetics that are finally coming out. They'll be rolling out, over the next 6 months to a year, but we have 3 or 4 available right now that should be hitting your stores all around you guys this week, next week.
I can't wait to see it. I love those 2 strains. They're very good. Gelato heavy. Are yours getting like nice purple?
The Code Red is really purple. The Drip Station isn't super purple, but it's really, really dank and old school, like some smells that I hadn't smelled in a while, like that lended itself to gelato, obviously. But there was even something that was from like the Gorilla Glue OG family like buried deep in there. So it was really, really good. And then that Super Boof is obviously we know is super terpy and bright and citrus heavy.
Yeah, sounds like Soulshine is getting some fire. That's good to hear. I like it.
Thank you. What you got, Zach?
I got some Cap Junkie from Method. It's
Hey.
the breeder. The breeder is Capulator and Seed Junkie Genetics. It's a cross of
Seed Junkie. That's who did
Alien
ice cream
Cookie.
cake.
Yeah. It's a cross of Kush Mints 11 and Alien Cookies. Little
I have some
indica
of that
ice.
rosin.
Hell
Yeah, it's fine. Smells good. So just rolled up a little
smoking
something from it.
I'm smoking on something from Method too. I'm smoking on that peaches, bro.
That sounds good too.
Yeah,
From
bro.
Method.
I'm gonna save you some, Zach. I gotta make sure. I think Matt has already tried it. If you guys haven't tried it, I'll save you some. I'm gonna definitely have a lot of it.
This is one of those genetics that I can get, guys. Like this is the one I got this for them. That peaches.
Perfect.
Right on.
Hell yeah, that's beautiful.
Nice.
Nice
Yeah.
work, man. It's great.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Well,
so we can hook up our people. That's awesome. I'm stoked you like that. I got I got that presidential OG and a Fendo from Can Organics.
I'm definitely a fan. The nose on it is just, it's heavy. It's real heavy. As soon as you open up the jar, it's like, oh yeah, I know what we got up in there. We got something good. There's some cookies up in that or some mints. Definitely smell the mints coming from it. But man, fellas,
If our viewers didn't know, Zach gets stoned and he doesn't eat. He goes and pumps iron for 3 hours.
that's true. That is true. Yeah, I'm about due right now. We're getting ready to. Yeah. Unfortunately, I got to meet people now because they want to go and work out with me. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I got to get ready to run. But
hey, look, I know if a car ever falls on top of me, you can lift it off of me and I'll be alive.
There you go.
Absolutely, man. Another great podcast, though, fellas. I missed doing it. Missed you guys on here. I know we talk, pretty much every day, but always get to shed some light to the YouTube community and let them know what we got working on and the news of the day or the week for cannabis. Again, salute to Germany for getting your stuff done. Shout out to Virginia, the great state of the Commonwealth of Virginia, for legalizing or getting to your next level of legalization as well. Hopefully the veterans can be able to influence the Biden administration in a good way and we don't get too taxed too heavily on our cannabis. But with that being said, I'll pass the mic to you guys. Let us know what you're working on or how people can find you if you want people to find you. And you already know the routine. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Steve. I see you right there next to me. Go ahead and say what you got working on or how people can find you, bro.
Shit, man, I'm just out here selling weed in broad daylight. You can find me at Soulshine. You can find me right here on this channel.
Hey, man, you got, speaking of that, you have any good quotes that you wanna be able to put out there? Any advice or any quotes?
Yeah, man, I would say mind your business. That's the best advice. Mind your business and be about your business. Like that. Right there.
I like it. Sean, what about you, bro?
I will be invisible and incognito this weekend to the world. You guys know you can find me, but other than that, I'm going to take a couple days off. Well deserved. We all had a long week. I am on Instagram if you want to find me, Slauson_. But yeah, no, I miss football a little bit. I miss Taylor Swift a little bit. I'm looking forward to the next season coming up, and had to throw that one at you guys. It feels weird. Like she was on my timeline every day for so long, and I thought about her today when we're talking football, and I was like, look, she became part of all of our daily regimens, and now she's gone. So, I mean, shout out Taylor Swift and the Chiefs for the Super Bowl this year, but Seahawks are coming for you next year, motherfuckers.
I like it, man. Kelly, what about you, bro?
I mean, same old. I'm being visible as hell. You ain't gonna see me really anywhere, but probably right here. So catch y'all either next week or the week afterwards, and I hope y'all have a blessed and happy and safe rest of y'all weekend here, because I am definitely about to go smoke.
Smoke.
Smoke dope. Oh, there he goes. My man, my man. Matthew, what about you, bro?
Oh, I just want to say thank you to all the viewers and to the team. You can find me right here, and my words of advice for anyone getting into the cannabis world or cannabis business is to under promise and over deliver and always follow through. And if you can do those things, you will be a rock star, because
My man.
it's still a very new industry, and it's always looking for people who can do those things.
Well, I love that, man. And always was a pleasure to have each and every one of you fine gentlemen on the show. I guess I'll give my little points of wisdom, which is wake up early, no matter what. Wake up early, drink some water, get your day going. Before you do anything else, get up early, set your timer, drink some water. If you do that, your life on this earth will probably go a lot longer than when you don't do it. So start early, get your day going. If you're feeling in a rut or if you're feeling some type of way, it's going to benefit you to get up early, and you'll at least feel good to get up and you know that you got up before 75% of the rest of the world.
Amen.
That's what
All
I got.
right.
Appreciate
Well,
you guys.
fellas,
I'll be up at 4:30 tomorrow morning then.
there you go. You gonna go and hit that cold tub?
I'm gonna try
Hit
to
that
wake up
shit.
tomorrow morning after I ate that 500 milligrams.
Matt's
Yeah,
waking up
man.
at 4:30 p.m.
See, we'll make a note. We'll
Godspeed.
check on Matt. I'll wake him up. I'll check on him. Well,
There you
again,
go.
YouTube, rest of the world, we appreciate you guys. Always, like I said, make sure you guys have a safe weekend. Hit that like button if you guys wouldn't mind. There's some algorithms out there. Of course, we all know what it is. So if you guys got something from the show, that's the best way that you guys can show your appreciation for it. So again, thank you guys to my co-host. We'll catch you guys next time. And yeah, let's play a little music.
Higher than the motherfucker. Say it again. Somebody roll the weed. It's my song. I wanna get higher than the motherfucker. One more time. Somebody roll the weed. I wanna get higher than a motherfucker. Hit it again. Somebody roll the weed.
For real.
I wanna get higher than a motherfucker. Can you tell me what you wanna get?